at 11. She was known as the fastest woman on four wheels.
She's a shining star, and if anything, I just want to be just like that.
Fellow racers remember Jessi Combs, who died during an attempt to break a world speed record in Oregon. Plus, a terrifying trip. A Portland man is carjacked, kidnapped, then driven across town. Tonight, police are searching for the men who did it and booted for breastfeeding. A woman says she was kicked out of an Oregon dentist's office for breastfeeding her baby. Your news starts now. And good evening. We begin with breaking news of a crash that shut down I-5 near the Rose Quarter for a time tonight. The interstate reopened in the past half hour. The wreck was near the city center exit. Two vehicles were involved. We're still waiting to learn what caused the crash and if anyone was hurt. Another crash, this one in Aloha tonight, killed two people. This happened at 6 o'clock on Farmington Road at 196th Avenue. Sheriff's deputies say two vehicles were involved. The two people in the blue car both died. Investigators believe they were speeding and crossed the center line and hit the black Chevy. The driver of the Chevy was not hurt. She stayed on the scene and is cooperating with investigators. There are no signs she was impaired. Farmington Road reopened about an hour ago. Now to the search for the two people who carjacked a Southwest Portland man at gunpoint, tied him up, and drove him across town. The victim managed to get away unharmed, but not before a shooting near a busy Southeast Portland park. KGW's Mike Benner spoke with the victim and joins us with more. Mike, this is really scary.
No, Laurel, this whole thing is beyond frightening. The victim did not want to go on camera, and you cannot blame him. He told me the guys who carjacked him have his wallet and ID, so they know where he lives. Needless to say, he's not getting much sleep. He's afraid these men could come back for him.
The Transit Center on Southwest Barber Boulevard, the scene of an absolutely terrifying ordeal for a Southwest Portland man. He declined to go on camera for understandable reasons, but tells me this is where he was carjacked, at gunpoint. He says the bad guys zip-tied his hands behind his back, covered his face, then tossed him in the back of his own BMW, similar to this one. According to authorities, the suspects drove from the Transit Center all the way to Mount Tabor Park in Southeast Portland, where things escalated. KGW has learned the man was let out of his car. Two people asked him what was going on. That's when investigators say the suspects started shooting. The carjacking victim tells me he ran away as fast as he could, so he wasn't injured. Neither were those two witnesses. I'm told the carjackers got away with the victim's wallet, cell phone, and some jewelry, and of course his car. A 2007 BMW 525, Oregon license plate 001DDR. If you spot the car or know anything about the case, you're urged to contact Portland Police.
All right, so at this point, that car and license plate are the best leads because the suspect descriptions just aren't that good. The victim is hoping we can help track down that car. It's very important to him. It's his main mode of transportation. Laurel, back to you.
Oh, what a terrifying ordeal. Thank you, Mike. Developing in Washington County tonight, deputies are looking for the man who attacked a teenage girl. She was walking home near 185th and Rock Creek Boulevard early yesterday morning. The man approached her from behind, tried to talk to her, then grabbed her backpack and covered her mouth as she was trying to scream. And that's when she took advantage and bit down on his hand.
She was able to fight him off. She made loud noises, she screamed, she took the opportunity to bite the victim to try to fight him off, and she was able to successfully get the gentleman away from her so something worse didn't happen.
The deputies described the suspect as a Hispanic man in his 20s, about 5'10", with a thin mustache. There has been a tragic death in the racing world that happened right here in Oregon. Jessi Combs, the so-called fastest woman on four wheels, died while trying to break a land speed record in her jet car. It happened yesterday afternoon in Harney County's Alvord Desert. That's in southeastern Oregon. KGW's Catherine Cook talked with a racer who knew Combs and even sat in the very car that Combs was killed in. Catherine?
And Laurel, when Valerie Thompson heard the news, one of her first thoughts was it could have been her. Both she and others are mourning the loss of Jessi Combs tonight, both as a powerhouse in the industry and as an inspiration.
It shows that there's a huge turning point in our sport, that women are now becoming accepted, that times are changing.
And in that world of land speed racing, Jessi Combs was the pilot, both literally and figuratively. On Tuesday, the 39-year-old race car driver and former TV co-host was in southeastern Oregon's Alvord Desert. She was driving her famed North American Eagle, a 56-foot-long jet-powered car. Her goal, topping the current women's land speed record of 512.7 miles an hour. This video from the KGW archives is from 1976, when Kitty O'Neill set the record in the Alvord Desert. Combs died there, trying to break it.
She was an inspiration to young girls. So we know going into it that we could die.
Ron Hughley is curator for the World of Speed Motorsports Museum in Wilsonville. Combs' death hit him hard.
Cars are my life, so when I'm not here, I'm racing.
He's also a crew chief for the Target 550, a streamliner designed to go 500 miles an hour based in Aurora. Valerie Thompson pilots the Target 550 and knew Combs. Two women piloting through rare air on the ground.
It breaks my heart, you know. Yeah. She's such an inspirational person, and her messages and her ways about her is just incredible.
About 5 years ago, Thompson, who lives in Arizona, says she had an opportunity to pilot the North American Eagle before going in a different direction. She remembers sitting in its driver's seat.
I turned on the afterburners. It's so amazing. It's incredible. That horsepower is just wonderful. That's one thing, but the safety too is another thing.
Thompson says she had concerns about the North American Eagle's safety. She wonders, what if it had been her?
It's painful. Yeah. All we can do is do better and, pay it forward.
The Harney County Sheriff's Office is still investigating what caused the crash that killed Combs. Hughley says even when the investigation is over, he's confident their sport will go on. It's what drives them.
We are the modern day adventurers. So we'll continue to do it, because there's always a record to be broken.
Hughley, that museum curator, says it's his understanding that Combs may have just been doing test races in the Alvord Desert because there was no official sanctioning body there to record it. Laurel.
So sad. What a loss. Thank you, Catherine. Now let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. Oregonians will be getting a record-breaking kicker rebate next year. It's $1.6 billion. Those making the median income in Oregon of about $38,000 a year will get a $346 refund. Salem police arrested two teens accused of tagging a home, a driveway, and car with homophobic graffiti. We first told you about this story last month. The family says the vandals also tossed a rock through their home's front window. They told us they believe the vandalism was directed at their 14-year-old son, who is bisexual. The teens are facing hate crime charges. A suspected drunk driver caused quite a bit of damage. You can see here when they careened into an Aloha apartment building this evening. You can see they hit the staircase there. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Let's talk about the heat. After a mini heat wave, the cool down has begun outside tonight. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino. Matt?
Yeah, Laurel, it is beginning the cool down. It's still warm in Portland at 75 degrees, but you know what? That's a 5-degree drop. Humidity is coming up a bit. It's not nearly the dry air mass that we had for the last 2 days, but when you look at the temperatures, mid-70s in the metro area. But if you look farther south, it is only 63 in Corvallis. Imagine that. We are 80 degrees last hour, 63 in Corvallis, 72 in Salem, 64 at Kelso. So the temperatures are beginning to drop all across the valley. We are done with the heat wave. What we're not done with are showers. And we even had a thunderstorm over the Coast Range about an hour ago. It's moving north out of Lincoln County into Tillamook County as just a rain shower. But you see the lightning strike we had over Lincoln County right there as that band moves through. There's been a couple of drops of rain. That's it in the Portland area. But towards morning, we have a better chance of showers and even thunderstorms rolling on into the valley. So here's what you can expect. Scattered showers and possibly a thunderstorm the overnight hours, but especially in the morning hours tomorrow. So be ready for that. Cooler air flooding into the valleys now, so we're done with the hot weather for quite a while. And in fact, we have a really great Labor Day weekend on the way. One other thing, we still have the air quality warning till just before noon tomorrow because of ozone in the valley. DEQ asking not to drive motorized vehicles with gas engines or operate anything like a lawnmower till about noon tomorrow, when the air quality will improve. Laurel, back to you.
Thank you, Matt. We'll see you in a few minutes. Be sure to download the new KGW app if you haven't already. You can keep up to date on forecast changes, see live radar, and get hourly forecasts for your neighborhood. A Portland couple is suing the city of Seattle and King County after getting attacked by a man with a baseball bat. This happened in August of 2016. Jim and Melanie Richardson were shopping downtown Seattle, when Nail Mued randomly attacked them with a bat. Both ended up in the emergency room. And now, 3 years later, they're still dealing with both the physical and mental trauma of the attack. Mued was later convicted and is currently in jail. Mued has a lengthy criminal history, including assault convictions, and the couple believes the city and the county should have done more to protect the public, including getting Mued a mental health evaluation before he was released from jail the last time.
The problem we have, and the reason I guess we're pursuing this, is we're hoping there's going to be some change made, with the system.
They're suing for an unspecified dollar amount, but say their main goal is to keep something like this from happening to someone else in the future. When we come back, an Oregon mom says she and her 2 sons were kicked out of a dentist's office because she was breastfeeding.
It's really just mind-boggling to me that we even deal with this at this day and age.
Plus an update on the KGW investigation into this rodent-infested Portland store. Did the conditions make employees sick?